What's up, decoders? Welcome back. This is Decoding with Cody. Got another live stream for you all. And let's give me some thumbs up in the chat if the sound is good. Let me say hello to a few people also. Hello, Captain Flatastic. Hello, JJ Recon. Hello, Rebecca Carrington. Hello, Cozy. Hello, Silver Links. Coffee Girl. Hello. Visionary Vet. Hello. Nice to see you all in here today. Thanks for tuning in. Let me just give a few more minutes here, and we'll jump into it. Give a few more minutes for some people to join. Hey, Miriam. Hey, X Truble. Brian Smolin. Hello. Let's see. Let me get some things set up here. So, how you guys doing out there tonight? How is the weather? Here, the weather is stormy and rainy. Must be that solar flare causing a bunch of chaotic weather, right? The solar flare. If you guys believe in that, right? And just for those people out there that think I believe in it, I don't know what I believe. I don't think I believe in solar flares necessarily, but yeah. So we're just going to talk about just the clear symbolism that's been happening with the eclipse the other day, and just how they sync all these events together, right? And of course, most of you guys already know how they sync the events together, but we're going to take a deep dive into the ring of fire and the ring of power and Saturn and the ring. So there's so much symbolism right now with rings. So we're going to dig deep into that. Hello, Jose. Hello to my girlfriend who's in the chat, Maria's Food World, and her new food channel. So make sure you guys go check out Maria's Food World. That's my girlfriend's channel. Please hit those like buttons. Please hit those like buttons if you guys are just getting in. We're going to have some fun here tonight. Talk about some numbers, talk about some symbolism. Hello, Marianne. Hope you guys are all good. Yeah, thank you, Captain Fantastic. Please hit those likes, guys. That really helps out. And there's a link at the top if you guys want to support the channel. I could always use the support right now, as always, if it's on your heart. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. And just give it one more minute, and then we'll start jumping in. Hello to everyone just getting in. Hello, Lady Rocks. Hello, Michael Graham. Hello, BTC Titan X Bitcoin. Well, what a heck of a username you have there. But I think I said it right. Hello to my friend Widow's Son. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. What's up? Tracy, hello. Again, guys, we're just giving some more time for some people to join in, and then I'm saying hello, and then we'll get into it. All right, we got 73. So actually, let's just jump into it. So let's go. So we have, of course, most of you guys know the Ring of Fire eclipse was on October 2nd. And there's a few things that happened within the 24 hours of that Ring of Fire eclipse. The first was that it was in the news that, well, I'll just read this top one first. It's all eyes now on Tehran, what Tehran does next as Israel destroys Iran's Ring of Fire. So how perfect it is that on the Ring of Fire eclipse, there's a story in the news that Israel is destroying Iran's Ring of Fire, okay? And this connects to Saturn, which you could also connect to Satan. A lot of people would connect that. And time, right? And so we're gonna go over that. So, but again, think about it. There's no numbers needed here. What are the chances that the articles on the day of the Ring of Fire eclipse are Israel is destroying Iran's Ring of Fire? Okay, how perfect. And also within 24 hours of that, like just after that, it was the final episode of the season 2 of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Okay, so we have a ring of fire eclipse, we have a ring of fire in Iran, and we have a ring of fire show, a rings of power show. And if you guys remember, in the Lord of the Rings, which is one of my favorite series of all time, I love that series and those movies and the books. But the rings of power, the ring of power, the ring that Sauron created in that franchise, the only way it can be destroyed is by being thrown into the fire. Okay, so there you have more symbolism with a ring and a fire, right? So yeah, that's the preface. There was also last night there was also a football player being inducted into the Ring of Honor in Atlanta, and of course I've been talking about Atlanta because there's a WWE event going on in Atlanta tomorrow called Bad Blood. And so Atlanta has been all over the place lately. So anyways, let's keep going. So another news story that broke as Iran's Ring of Fire was being attacked was that Israel could hit Iran's nuclear facilities, okay? So we're going to tie this into nuclear, okay? And I'm going to show you how that all connects in a minute. But the story was that Israel could attack Iran's nuclear power plants or nuclear labs, okay? So you got the Ring of Fire and you have the nuclear. So how does that connect? But first we're going to cover the eclipse, because the eclipse, which was a Ring of Fire eclipse, was literally going through what they call the Ring of Fire. It was going over Easter Island too, by the way. But it was literally, so the Ring of Fire is a geographical area that basically goes around the whole Pacific Ocean, right? I mean, from South America all the way up to North America, all the way back down to the Asia, and by, just east of Australia. And so what are the chances? Again, you got Israel destroying Iran's Ring of Fire. You got the Ring of Fire eclipse that's going through the literal Ring of Fire. Okay, so here's the path, and you can see it was going literally right here through the Ring of Fire. Okay. And this is symbolic because the Ring of Fire represents a place where it's very prone to earthquakes and volcanoes and seismic activity, right? And solar eclipses are also known to cause earthquakes as well as solar flares. And we just had solar flares in the news. So we had a Ring of Fire eclipse, we had a solar flare, supposedly. Again, I'm not saying these things are real. I'm not saying there's a lot of people want to argue if solar flares are real. To me, I don't care. All I care about at this point is decoding the symbolism of the stories that they're giving us. And the reason that they're giving you a solar flare around the same time of a solar eclipse is because they want you to see the symbolism. Okay, it all ties together. So I'm going to show you why the gematria tells us why solar flares, earthquakes, volcanoes are all tied together. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to talk about the Ring of Fire in Iran. Remember, I released a video a few days ago about Trump saying World War III was close, right? Or we're either in World War III or it's very close, okay? Joseph Aquaviva's in the chat. Much love, brother. He did a video earlier about that. But I want you guys to understand the connection between Iran's supreme leader and the Ring of Fire and nuclear, okay? So he's super tied to world wars, nuclear events, and he's also tied to Ring of Fires. First of all, he's the one that put a Ring of Fire around Israel, right? It was Iran's Ring of Fire around Israel. Now, don't also forget that the Arab world walks around in a circle around a cube. Okay, that's Saturn. He's wearing black here, which is also Saturn, the judge. Okay, so this guy, the Middle East represents a lot of Saturn elements, right? The cube, the black cube of Saturn, walking in circles like the ring. They wear a lot of black. A lot of Saturn influence, okay? In fact, Saturn equals 42, like Iran equals 42, like war equals 42. We're in the time of Libra, which is the time of judgment, and Saturn is the judge, okay? So anyway, back to this. I'm going to talk more about Saturn in a minute. But this guy, the supreme leader of Iran, was born on April 19th, 1939, just days before World War II started. Okay? World War II started on September 1st, 1939. This guy was born just before that. Okay? He was born for this role he's currently in, obviously. He was born on 4/19. And 4/19 is the same day in history the song Ring of Fire released. In fact, the supreme leader of Iran was born exactly 24 years before Ring of Fire was released. Crazy, because again, this guy is currently in the center stage putting a ring of fire around Israel, okay, in the year 2024. So it's not a coincidence, I don't believe, that this guy was 24 years old on the release day of Ring of Fire. Do you guys get what I'm laying down here? We're in the year 24. This guy was 24 years old on the exact day of Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire. Notice he's wearing black here. That's Saturn. What was Johnny Cash's nickname? The Man in Black. That's Saturn. Okay? I told you at the beginning of this decode, the same day as the Ring of Fire eclipse, Lord of the Rings was having its final episode. That's Saturn. And again, it's not a coincidence that this guy's was 24 years old. Okay. So that's our first connection to the leader of Iran and the Ring of Fire. Okay. Now, this connects to nuclear. Why? Because when this guy took office, when he was born, he was connected to the Ring of Fire. Okay. And when he took office, on August 6, 1989, okay? August 6, guys, he took office on the anniversary of the first atomic bombing of Hiroshima, okay? There you go. You got your Ring of Fire, and then you have your connection with this man, and he literally takes office on the anniversary of the atomic bomb, on the 44th anniversary of the atomic bomb. And that's going to come up in a minute too, the 44. But look at this. On October 6th or October 7th coming up, this man will turn exactly 422 months old. Oh, no. Sorry. From the time he took office on the bombing anniversary to October 6th or 7th, he will turn 422 months exactly. Why 422? Well, that's the birthday of the guy who created the atomic bomb, Oppenheimer. Okay, do you guys get what I'm laying down here? He assumes office on the atomic bomb day, and then on the day coming up, October 7th, the 1-year anniversary of the attack on Israel, he will be 422, which is the birthday of Oppenheimer. And notice the Oppenheimer cover. Do you notice the Ring of Fire symbolism here? Do you see how the photo is kind of like looking like a ring behind him. It's not fully a ring, I get it. But still, you have this Ring of Fire looking thing, right? So that's the second thing. Now, the same day as the Ring of Fire eclipse, there was a news story at an airport in Japan saying cameras capture World War II bomb exploding at a Japanese airport. A buried American bomb from World War II exploded at Japanese airport on Wednesday, canceling more than 80 flights. Okay, so this is scary, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to scare anyone to think there's going to be a nuclear. I don't even know if I believe in nuclear, but I'm just saying there might be a ritual of something coming. It could be a war thing. It could be even an earthquake. I don't know. But this reminds me of an earthquake. Why? Because a lot of people say, and can probably verify, that they cause earthquakes by exploding stuff underground. And here you have this story of a bomb exploding underneath of Japan, the same day as the eclipse. Okay? This story is in the news just to point you to World War II, okay? Because Why is there a bomb exploding in Japan randomly? And it might be connected to airplanes because it's under an airport. Are we going to have an airplane crash? I don't know. But World War II bomb explodes in Japan on the same day as the Ring of Fire eclipse and the same day as Israel is attacking Iran's Ring of Fire. Now, look, this happens in Japan. Japan equals 42, like war, and like Iran. Saturn equals 42. So we're going to go back to Saturn in a minute, too. But it's not a coincidence that Iran and Japan are the two with the 42 connection, okay? So remember this story as we go through, because they're telling you with this story that there's a connection to the bomb. Now, this slide, pay attention to this slide, guys. This is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. So I started looking into nuclear connections because I noticed this story connected to the Ring of Fire, and I noticed how it was a bomb, right? So I started looking into nuclear. So again, I don't know if I believe in nuclear. I'm going to keep restating that because everyone always comments saying, I can't believe you believe in nuclear. I can't believe you believe in solar flares. It doesn't matter what I believe. I'm just decoding the story, okay? This isn't about belief. This is just about me showing the stories. So anyways, remember, I told you October 6th, October 7th, the supreme leader of Iran will be 422 into his office, and he assumed office on the anniversary of the nuclear bomb, okay? And 422 is the birthday of the guy who created the bomb, okay? That's October 6th or October 7th. So I started looking into that date. I was like, what's with this date? So look, if you go back to the release of Oppenheimer, and you go to the day October 6th or October 7th, depending on if you add the day or not, it's 444 days. That is the gematria of nuclear, 444. And that's after the nuclear movie. That day, that's the 1-year anniversary of Hamas' attack on Israel. Not only that, so get ready for this. Look down here at the bottom, guys. From World War II starting to October 7th is 4440 weeks and 4 days. Wow. So you're telling me from the movie Oppenheimer is 444 days, and from World War II, it's 4440 weeks and 4 days to the same day? And nuclear equals 444 in Sumerian? Now in Fibonacci, World War III equals 444. In the same cipher as State of Israel equals 444. So what I'm saying is this seems to be aligning with the 1-year anniversary of Israel being attacked. All these 444s. Yeah, of course, Lucifer equals 444. Jesus equals 444. Messiah, occult, all those things equal 444 because anything that equals 74 in ordinal equals 444 in Sumerian because it's 74 times 6. But the main point here is nuclear. Nuclear equals 444. And I'm just saying, 444 days after this movie, and it aligns with the supreme leader of Iran, who is going to turn the age of the guy's birthday on the front of this movie. He's born on 422, Oppenheimer. And this guy took office on the day of the atomic bomb, the 44th anniversary. You guys understand what I'm showing you here? This guy took office on the 44th anniversary of the atomic bomb. And now, and big shout out to my buddy Sean in the chat, whose birthday is October 7th. And whose birthday is October 7th? Putin. Putin's birthday is October 7th. Okay, so this day is so big, this October 7th. October 6th is also, if you do a span, it's also 444. But what I'm saying is this day lines up very interestingly with all these numbers. Another interesting thing that my friend Sean pointed out is not only is it 444 days after Oppenheimer and 444 weeks and 4 days after World War II started. Sorry, guys, I have a typo here. If you're reading that, I meant to type after the start of World War II, not World War III. So look at this. From the date 4/4/2016, it's 444 weeks to October 7th. So if you go to the date 4/4/16, and don't forget 16 is 4 times 4. So and look at the date numerology of 4/4/16. It was 44. 4 plus 4 plus 20 plus 16 equals 44. If you go 444 weeks exactly from that date, you land on this date, October 7th. This is the same day that I just aligned with the other 444s. Now, again, I'm not saying World War III is going to kick off on this day. I don't know. But what I'm saying is it's interesting that all these dates are aligning with this number, you know? And whatever they might have planned on the 1 year anniversary of Israel being attacked, it could be interesting. It could also happen later this month, okay? All of October is highly open for a ritual at any point, to be, in my opinion. Yeah, and Joseph's saying Iran attacked Israel 44 weeks before Obama's birthday, and Obama's the 44th president, right? Israel equals 44 as well, yeah. So you have all these fours. Now, we're going to get into why all this connects together with the Ring of Fire, okay? So again, October 7th is 10/7, 107. Now, the Ring of Fire is all about earthquakes because the Ring of Fire that goes around the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, is a high earthquake zone. Okay? In gematria, the word earthquake, the word Ring of Fire, and the word solar flare and the word military all are almost perfect matches. So who's really causing the earthquakes, the Ring of Fires, the solar flares? Is it military technology? Maybe. But look, they all equal 107. You see this? That's the date I'm telling you about. October 7th, 107. Military 107. Solar flare. You had a solar flare erupt. And guess what day it's supposed to be hitting? October 6th, 1 day before October 7th, the solar flare is hitting. This was the same time you had the Ring of Fire eclipse. And again, the Ring of Fire is an earthquake zone. An earthquake equals 107. And they often say that solar flares cause earthquakes. So what are the chances that solar flare is almost a perfect match to earthquake? Okay, this could be a political earthquake. It could be a real earthquake. Okay, but whatever's coming, it seems like everything's coming to a head. Okay, I just think it just all seems to be pointing to everything's intensifying. So October 7th, definitely something to watch for. But the 107 is the big number here. Now, the reason I remembered 10/7 is not only because of Israel and Putin. Putin's birthday is 10/7. Israel was attacked on 10/7. But Busta Rhymes released an album called Extinction Level Event 2, or The Wrath of God. And the first trailer to this song was released on October 7th, 2020. That means that this year is the 4-year anniversary. Remember, I told you all the fours are pointing us to October 7th. And this year will be the 4th anniversary of Busta Rhymes, The Prophecy Will Be Fulfilled. This video was released October 7th, okay, exactly 4 years ago, and it was called The Prophecy Will Be Fulfilled. Now notice that the name of the song or the name of the album is Extinction Level Event 2, which equals 107. Again, like earthquake, like solar flare, like a ring of fire, like earthquake, okay? And again, This thing is like, what is this all about? And if you guys see this video, I mean, it's all like really satanic. It's Catholic priests putting a mark on people's head, on the kid's head, right? So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to watch this video, you can watch it. But anyways. I'm just saying it's very interesting that October 7th is the 4-year anniversary of this video. Okay. And extinction level event 2 equals 107. And this is also what WWE was posting. Okay. So again, I talked about all the Rings of Fire. We had the Lord of the Rings movie show ending. We had the Ring of Fire eclipse. We had Iran's Ring of Fire around Israel. And around this same time, like a few weeks ago, before all this happened, we had WWE posting this trailer, okay? Fate is Woven. And they posted a rune, a Nordic rune, with the letters, what looks to be the letters R, F, and P. It is interesting. It reminds me of XRP a bit. But anyways, R, F, and P. Okay, these are not actually the letters R, F, and P. But look at the Ring of Fire, guys. You see, this is clearly a Ring of Fire reference, right? Because they posted this just like a week or two before the Ring of Fire eclipse, and it's a Ring of Fire with 3 runes in the middle. Now, the runes, they say it means fate is woven. Okay, fate is woven. But if you read farther down, it says, though they appear to be the letters P, F, and R, the runes featured in this video come from the Elder Futhark classification of runes, one of the oldest runic alphabets. Translated, the 3 runes spell war. So, okay, you have a Ring of Fire, and then you have 3 letters inside of it mean war. You guys understand? Because just a week or two later, you had Iran and Israel at war over in a Ring of Fire, okay? Yeah, and Rebecca Carrington in the chat is making a good point. With the 107, 107 is the 28th prime, and 28 is the 28-day lunar calendar, right? And 28 is like 2 8s, like 88. And I'm going to talk about 88 in a minute. But anyways, WWE literally telling us that there's war coming. And this symbol represents the group called the Viking Raiders. Okay, the Viking Raiders. And this duo is teamed in the ring. And don't forget, guys, wrestling happens in a ring. That's Saturn again, Lord of the Rings. Okay. But anyways, I might do a whole video around this thing just by itself, but I just wanted to add this in there because it goes perfectly with the Ring of Fire, okay, and the war. Now, let's go back to the rings. Remember, when the day of this Ring of Fire eclipse was happening, you had Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, having its last episode. Now, I found this interesting article. Okay, I found this interesting article saying, next time you hear of the impossibility for the One Ring, okay, so in Lord of the Rings, guys, the One Ring, okay, is called the One Ring, right? Now, there's this theory that popped up when J.R. Tolkien wrote his Lord of the Rings series. There was a theory that popped up that he meant the ring to be an allegory for a nuclear bomb. Literally, guys, there is a theory that J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of Lord of the Rings, had to come out and speak against, saying that the ring represents the nuclear bomb. Because the whole thing was that the Lord of the Rings was an allegory for World War II. Okay, but I'll read this. Next time you hear about the impossibility for the One Ring in Lord of the Rings to stand for a metaphorical atomic weapon, just look at this beauty, courtesy of Los Alamos National Laboratory. This, according to Dana Christensen, is a weapons-grade specimen of electrofined plutonium, which had been given such a sharp shape from critically safety reasons. So basically what he's saying here is that this is electrofined plutonium, which is what you use to make an atomic bomb, and it looks like a ring. Okay. So J.R. Tolkien, again, I didn't put this in here, but J.R. Tolkien had to. Let me just show you. Hold on. The One Ring and the atomic bomb. Okay, so there's people saying that the One Ring symbolizes the atomic bomb. So here I am talking about the rings, and then I'm talking about nuclear, and then I find out that there's a theory in Lord of the Rings that the One Ring represents an atomic bomb as an allegory. So let's read about it. If you scroll down, well, let me just do a search for it. Atomic bomb. Okay, right here. Tolkien rejected the idea that the story was an allegory, saying that the applicability of the situation such as the Second World War. So remember, Tolkien, the writer of Lord of the Rings, was writing his book during World War II. Okay. So people thought that the One Ring represented the atomic bomb, and Sauron, who created the ring, represented Hitler, which makes sense because Hitler has a lot of Saturnian elements as well, in my opinion. But again, there is literally a theory that the One Ring represents an atomic bomb. That's the point I want to make here. And Tolkien had to address this theory. Supposedly, he had to address that theory. So what are the chances that this could tie to the rings of fire and also the plutonium ring that's shown here? Okay. Again, plutonium is the ring, is what they use for nuclear, supposedly used for the nuclear bomb. Now, how does all this come together? Well, it comes together with the number 107. Because the name of the ring in Lord of the Rings is called the One Ring. And one ring equals 107. Okay? And again, 107, does one ring to rule them all equal 107? Hold on. If that's true, that's interesting because I didn't even see that. Oh, look at that. Okay. I didn't even know this, guys. I didn't even know this. So I'm sitting here talking about the 107. I had no idea that the phrase one ring to rule them all equals 107. Okay? That's the inscription on the ring. Okay? So look at this. The inscription on the One Ring of Saturn is one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkest bind them. Okay? So one ring to rule them all equals 107. Like, just if you just type one ring, which is what they call it on Google, on Wikipedia, it equals 107. Now, the One Ring needed to be destroyed inside of a volcano. That's how they destroyed it in the movie. They needed to throw it inside of Mount Doom, also known as Mountain of Fate. Okay? Well, a volcano equals 107. Okay, so think about this, guys. Earthquake equals 107. Volcano equals 107. Solar flare, which supposedly causes earthquakes, equals 107. Military equals 107. They say that military weapons causes earthquakes underground. Okay? In this Lord of the Rings of Power, it's all about a volcano and Mount Doom. And volcano equals 107, and the One Ring is destroyed inside of a volcano. Okay? And the One Ring equals 107. Okay? So how does this tie to Saturn and time? Well, look at this. So I told you the ring of fire represents Saturn. Okay, you got the sun and the moon coming together to make a ring. That's Saturn, time. And the sun and the moon is how we tell time. So it makes sense that when the sun and the moon come together, they make a ring. And that ring represents being stuck in time. Saturn, okay, again. Now, the ring of fire on the map is also where the eclipse was coming through, okay? And Saturn, so look at this. If you guys don't understand the connection with Saturn and the Lord of the Rings, it's pretty obvious, right? They call Saturn the Lord of the Rings, but in Peter Jackson's film, The Lord of the Rings, Mount Doom was represented by 2 active volcanoes. But if you read down at there at the bottom, guys, hold on. Okay, so volcanoes, right? So Ring of Fire is a place where volcanoes and earthquakes can happen. Ring of Fire equals 107. One ring equals 107. Volcano equals 107. And the day named after Saturn, the Lord of the Rings, is equals 107. Okay? Of course, the ring is Ouroboros, but that also represents Saturn. Saturn is the Lord of the Rings. There's also a pi connection here. Pi, Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail, right? But Sauron, the guy who creates the One Ring, he's a clear symbol of Saturn, okay? Satan. Why do you think Christmas is on Saturnalia? Okay? Think about it. Saturnalia is from the 17th or 18th of December to the 25th. They celebrate Jesus' birthday on Saturn's Day, which is very blasphemic, really. I guess a lot of people would say that, right? So just think about the symbolism there with Saturn. And Saturn has the rings and the moons. So anyways, all this stuff comes together with the 107, okay? And I want you guys to focus on the number 107. 1 plus 7 equals 8. So I want you guys to think about 107 equals 8. And this is where we're going to get into the number 8 and how it's all connected to Saturn, okay? So here we go. So I just told you that 107, the number I've been talking about in this decode, yeah, Saturn is the black sun, right? Hitler has a connection to the black sun. Now, remember, in the Lord of the Rings books, people were saying that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote his Lord of the Rings as an allegory for Hitler and the bomb, okay? Hitler and the Nazism, right? Because the whole thing about the Lord of the Rings was that it was a ring in order to bind everyone together in one world order, right? Or one bloodline, right? Like Zionism, okay? Let's just say that. Okay, anyways, back to this. So if you guys learn the Bacon cipher, a lot of things open up. So the Francis Bacon ordinal cipher, right? Which is just a play off of the original ordinal, okay? So there's plenty of articles where you can connect the number 8 to Saturn. Okay, this is just one article I found. Secrets of the mysterious number 8 and Saturn, okay? In fact, if you go and look at all the planets and the numbers that are given to each planet, Saturn is always listed as having the number 8, okay? That's interesting because Kronos, or Saturn, was known for eating his kids. You guys know the story of Kronos, the Titan, who would eat his children? And Saturn is known as connected to the number 8. And that's also how you say something when you eat something, you ate, as in you ate your kids, right? Saturn, I'm not saying Saturn ate his kids. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you guys know what I mean. But anyways, Sauron in the Lord of the Rings equals 88. Okay? And guess what Saturn equals in Bacon gematria? 88. Oh, wow. So I just connected this whole thing to Saturn and the Lord of the Rings and Sauron from Lord of the Rings. And Sauron equals 88 and Saturn equals 88. Now, the supreme leader of Iran, who I connected to the Ring of Fire earlier, his name equals 88. Now, all of you guys are going to say Trump equals 88 too. We're going to get to Trump in a minute. But look at this. In the same cipher as Saturn, atomic bomb equals 88. And I just connected all these things together in this thing. I just connected all these things together. The atomic bomb, the Lord of the Rings, okay? And look at the picture of an atomic bomb. It looks like a ring. The explosion, it creates for an instant, it creates a ring, right? They call it like forget what they call it now, but there's a name for it, the atomic ring or something. But look, atomic bomb, 88, like Saturn, like Sauron, who was the creator of the rings in Lord of the Rings, okay? Sauron equals Trump, okay? And again, this guy who's in Iran equals 88. So how does Iran tie in with Saturn? Well, look at this one, guys. Oh, here, I posted this. Secrets of the Mysterious Number 8 and Saturn by a celebrity astrologer. So this is literally an article written by a celebrity astrologer. Okay, so if there's someplace you want to know what these people are doing, what's the chances that there's a celebrity astrologer connecting Saturn to the number 8? Okay. So anyway, he writes here that if you see the image of Saturn, I am sure you will agree that Saturn is indeed unique. And number 8 is associated and also favorable to all philosophers, okay? So anyways, for those who have not known it before, I'd like to inform you that the number 8 is associated with Saturn. Hence why I believe that Saturn equals 88 in Bacon gematria, okay? Now, so that's just to cover the 8s, but this brings it all together. So look at this. Look at this. This was after I started connecting Iran and the leader of Iran with the Saturn, okay? Al-Qaimi equals 88, okay? He's from Iran, obviously. And Iran comes from Persia. And look at this. This is insane. The Persian word, masculine given name denoting Saturn, is Kevan. This is the old Persian word for Saturn. And look what it equals, guys. It equals 88, like Saturn. And not only that, if you read down here, to the English speakers, the spelling Kevan with an O is the closest to Persian pronunciation. Well, guess what? If you spell it like this, guess what it equals, guys? It equals 88. If you spell the Saturn name for Persia, which is Iran, it equals 88, okay? Which is, okay, so both ways. I got 88 likes right now. Okay, well, I would say that we should stay on 88 just to be symbolic, but let's get the likes up to 100. Let's see if we can get from 88 to 100. But yeah, you guys are playing with me, aren't you? You guys are making sure that the likes are at 88. I know that. But what are the chances, guys? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. What are the chances that the name for Saturn in Persian, if you spell it in English, equals 88, like Saturn? And I just made this whole connection, okay? So Persia is modern day Iran, okay? And it all connects back to Saturn and the 8s. Now, a lot of people would also say that Saturn connects to the number 6, which it does because it has a hexagram on it, and there's a connection with Saturn and 6, but there seems to be a whole connection with Saturn and 8s. And just to make the point even more clear, look at this. I just told you the last episode of season 2 of Lord of the Rings aired on the Ring of Fire eclipse. And look, how many episodes do you think both the first 2 seasons of this show, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, how many episodes do you think the first 2 seasons had? Oh, 8. So first of all, we already know that Lord of the Rings is clearly Saturn, right? So what are the chances that they decided to make the 2 seasons of Lord of the Rings of Power have 8 episodes each to get your 88? And notice I drew an 8 around the 2 8s just to be funny. But just perfect, right? 8 and 8. There's your 88. There's your Saturn. So wow, a whole new number has opened up for me in Saturn. 93 is a huge number with Saturn, but 88 is also a huge number, apparently. And don't forget the main character of Lord of the Rings, the Dark Lord Sauron equals 88. So, in this whole series is about the origins of Sauron. Okay, the Rings of Power. So they made it 8 episodes each. So this connects us all the way back to the whole beginning. That Ring of Fire eclipse that happened on October 2nd, connected to all this Saturn and 88 stuff. This was all connected to the Donnie Darko 1988 movie. Why? Because on October 2nd, which was the day of the eclipse this year, in 1988, Frank the Bunny warned Donnie Darko that the world would come to an end, okay? And I've been talking about nuclear stuff, okay? I connected this, if you guys are just getting in, I connected all this to nuclear and World War. But in this movie, Donnie Darko gets warned that the world will end. And he gets told that the world will end in 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. Of course, most of you already know this, but if you add all these up, 28 plus 6 plus 42 plus 12, it equals 88. And how does that represent Saturn, guys? Because this is a time. Okay? This is a time. You see it? This is time. This is Saturn. They're giving you a time, and the time equals 88. Like Saturn is 88 in Bacon Gematria. Okay? Now, also, some other things to mention about the 88. There's 88 constellations. And also, when you're riding the moon, so something I learned from another channel too, is that this is written in moon. This is how they normally give the moon phases. They give them in this type of format. And normally, I don't remember what it is. If someone, I don't know if Casey Jones is in the chat, but when they give a format for a moon phase, they give it in this form, and it also adds up to 88. Okay, just like this does. Okay. Now let's do another 88. What about Mercury? Well, Mercury takes 88 days to go in orbit. Well, that's time. That's Mercury's time it takes to orbit. Okay, so that's again your ring. An orbit is a ring. So why do you think Mercury has an 88-day orbit? Well, I believe because it's Saturn again. It all goes back to time. Because how do you tell the 88 days of Mercury, the 88-day orbit of Mercury? It's a ring, like a Saturn, okay? So all these astrological things have a connection to 88. That's all I'm saying. And this eclipse that happened on October 2nd, okay, was connected to the 1988 October 2nd Donnie Darko, okay? And the whole movie was connected to Trump and the number 88, okay? Now, let's bring this all together, and let's just say I think time is growing thin, guys. The world is getting crazier and crazier, and a lot of stuff, it seems to be coming to a head. Now, this all goes back to the 1988 Donnie Darko. Now, in that movie, they reference the time machine in Back to the Future. Remember, in Back to the Future, Doc Brown says, when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious stuff. I'll be kid friendly. We're going to see some serious stuff when this thing hits 88 miles per hour. Well, Trump equals 88 and Judge equals 88. We're talking about Saturn, the judge. And we're currently in Libra. October is Libra. And of course, there is a Sirius, the dog star connection. Yes, there is. That's something we've pointed out many times, the Sirius dog star. But we're focusing on Saturn right now because Saturn is the judge. And remember, right after Doc says it's going to hit 88 miles an hour, this sign spins and it says out of time. And Saturn is justice also. Yes. So the sign says out of time, guys. And look, it has two streaks of fire, like rings of fire. Well, this isn't a ring, but at least you have the fire symbolism, right? Also, in Chaldean, 88 miles per hour equals 88. How interesting. So 88 miles per hour equals 88. Saturn is the judge, all about justice and time, the father time. And I believe this is why we had the recent death of Darth Vader, the voice of Darth Vader. What's his name now? Jones, James Earl Jones. Okay. Oh, guess which day leaves 80? Okay, first of all, why do you guys think I'm doing? I didn't mean to do this. I did not know that. Okay, I did not know I'd be talking about 88 until I started doing my decode and it kind of all came together. But guess how many days are left in the year today? Well, I'm currently talking to you on the day leaving 88 days in the year. So what I want you to understand from this decode is there seems to be, if we're going to go back, we're going to connect all this stuff one last time. All these things that are aligning, okay, with the ring of fire eclipse, with the solar flares. I'm just saying, let's go over what could happen in the coming weeks. Possibly. I mean, I'm just throwing out guesses, but at the end of the day, so this is what I'm thinking. You have a solar flare in the news, which equals 107, right? And this comes around the ring of fire, okay? And the ring of fire is a volcanic and earthquake-prone zone. So are we going to have earthquakes coming? Because they often say that after solar flares, there's earthquakes. So earthquakes, solar flares, of course, military connects to war, right? So are we going to have a world war scenario? I don't know. I mean, obviously, Trump said already, if you guys didn't watch my last video, and if you didn't watch Joseph's videos, Trump literally said 181 missiles, and that equals World War III, 181. And I just showed you, Sean in the chat, my buddy, Widow's son, his birthday is October 7th, which is the 4-year anniversary of the extinction level event by Busta Rhymes, the 4-year anniversary of that song. Okay. And look, it's 444 days after Oppenheimer, and it's 444 weeks and 4 days after the start of World War II to October 7th, Putin's birthday. And World War III equals 444. So this slide makes me think, maybe it's nothing, guys. Hopefully it is nothing. I hope it's not true. I hope there's not a world war. I hope it's just another ritual and they just keep putting it off. But with this type of connections, I just can't overlook it, I just can't overlook how all this aligns. Because think about it, guys. This movie, Oppenheimer, came out recently and was clearly connected to nuclear stuff. So what are the chances that 444 days later also lands on the same day that's 444 weeks and 4 days after World War II started? Okay, that to me is enough to say, huh. And it lands on Putin's birthday, and it lands on the 1-year anniversary of Hamas attacking Israel. And state of Israel equals 444. That's the official name of Israel, state of Israel. And state of Israel equals World War III in the same cipher. Okay. So I think that's enough right there to make you think, right? Now, but why do you think this story broke also at the same time? A bomb from World War II explodes in Japan, and Japan equals Iran and war. Now, another thing I want to cover here is all the sad stories coming out of North Carolina. I mean, guys, not only do you have this war going on in the Middle East, but you have this. I don't know if you guys have seen the stories, but apparently there's bodies washing up in Carolina all over the place from this devastation, and the freaking government's doing nothing. Nothing. I'm seeing plenty of videos from just normal people on Twitter of just the most horrendous stuff going on, you know. Some part of me wants to think that it's not true, but to be honest with you, I think it is. I think that a lot of people got swept away in those floods. I told you a few days before that happened that storm was going to be big, guys. And Joseph told you that too. I just knew that hurricane was going to bring some destruction. And North Carolina got devastated. The mountains flooded so bad. And let's just take a moment to really just pray for this world and to say, you know, let's have these evil people. Yeah, it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Like, think about that, guys. There's literally bodies washing up after this flood, like animals. Yeah, I saw this today. There's literally animals, bodies of animals and people washing up on the shores. You guys, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with this, but like plenty of people have been reporting this. And they're saying that it smells like death in that whole area, and they're trapped. All the roads are destroyed. Like you can't even get in or out. I saw a video today of people carrying supplies, walking it into the people were literally having to carry the supplies into the people because there's no roads, you know? So what I'm saying is it's very sad. It's very sad. And there's a lot of suffering going on in this world right now. And if you're actually connected to everyone and you can feel it, you should be able to feel these people suffering. I wish I could do something about it, but I'm just about as broke as you know, I'm barely making it myself. And I know a lot of you also probably struggling. And you know, did you see Kamala Harris said she's going to give $750 to each one of these people? I mean, what a joke, man. Kamala Harris, let's see if I can pull up the article. Gives $750 to flood victims. Look at this. Kamala Harris, FEMA is providing $750 for folks who need help. Okay? And everyone's upset because how much money have they given to Ukraine? How much money have they given to the refugees? Look at how much money the refugees are getting. And they're giving $750 to these people that just lost everything? Come on. That's like a slap in the face. Like a super slap in the face. Yeah, I mean, I heard that there's people literally getting, it's turning into a self-policing zone. Like people literally have to protect their houses because people are raiding their homes. Like really, if you guys haven't been looking into this, you guys should, I mean, look up some of the stories. I mean, not to make it sad, but just to be aware that there's some really crazy, horrible shit going on right now. Like, and if you're not there in the middle of it, you might not have any idea. Yeah, you know, screw FEMA, you know. That's all I have to say. Yeah, I mean, the looting, I don't know. I just heard there's looting. I don't know how bad any of it is, but I do know I've heard plenty of stories of looting, of people, you know, lots of deaths, you know. So I'm just saying, I know there's a lot of suffering going on right now in those areas. Regardless of what stories are true or not, there has to be a lot of suffering. Just look at the videos of the place. These houses were completely washed away. It's like taking a whole city and like dropping a nuclear bomb on it. It's what it looks like. Many people are saying that there's going to be well over 1,000, and they may not even report it. They're reporting over 200, but they're still looking through, you know, and they're not even reporting the true numbers. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's just like Maui, man. It's just like Maui. Captain Flatassa says she's going. Oh, you're going to work there. Well, that's good. I wish if I was in the United States, I would think about going there too. To be honest, I don't know. I'm just saying, let's pray for those people, and that's the least we can do. If we can't actually help out physically, we can pray and send them the love that they need. Hopefully. So yeah, guys. What else did I want to talk about? Please hit those like buttons if you haven't already. Phoenix365 says sad turn equals time. Really interesting. Yeah, I didn't mean to get all sad on you guys, but I mean, sometimes these things need to be said. So, and my channel is not just about showing numbers to people. I really want this world to heal, and be better. I know it's not probably going to happen, but I really want that. I want God, I want love, truth, peace, God. I want God, all of God's attributes to flood this earth. But at the same time, I know it's just not how it's in the cards, I don't think. But the most I can do is send prayers to those people and to at least try to care, at least, And I don't, I told you guys this summer, my girlfriend's house almost got flooded in Germany. I saw people losing their houses in Germany. So, like they're really just trying to destroy everything. Let's see. Just reading through your comments, guys. Captain Flatastic, anyone in Florida can get to a beach to help clean up, do so. FEMA is not helping. Yeah, I mean, they're not helping. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, did Korea just get hit with something? I didn't know that. Yeah, you know what's happening here right now, guys? There's a super strong storm outside right now, and when I'm in Albania right now. I'm surprised my internet connection is working, to be honest. Connection between Donnie Darko warning 10/2/88 and the tennis poster. Yeah, there might be a connection between that date. Remember, the 10/28 days leads us to 2025, guys. That tennis match where it said we have 10/28 days left. You know what's interesting about 10/28 is that's also connected to Saturn. So the shirt that said we have 10/28 days left. Sorry, guys, if you guys can hear, there's a storm going on outside. It's thunder. But this shirt saying we have 10/28 days left. Well, that's the number 128, right? And the number 128 is 88 minutes. An hour and 28 minutes is 88 minutes. And also in gematria, also this huge connection with 107. How does this connect to 88 and Saturn? Well, first of all, 1 plus 0 plus 7 equals 8, right? And 107 is the 28th prime number, okay? And 28 is 2 8s. You could look at it that way. 28 equals 2 8s. Or 88. I don't know if that makes sense. But this is a way that some people do look at it. 2 8 is 2 8s, okay? So anyway, that's connecting the 107. 107, the 28th prime, which is like 2 8s, okay? All right, so, but back to the 128. 128 is 1 hour and 28 minutes is 88 minutes, okay? Trump equals 88. We had a bridge collapse, which equals 128. Now, also, connecting this back to Saturn in the 88, keeper of time. Saturn is known as the keeper of time, right? keeper of time equals 128, which again is 88 minutes on the clock, an hour and 28. Okay. And we're talking about time, right? In fact, every time we do stuff, we do date measurements, we're doing Saturn, we're doing time, it's all about time, which is also why time equals Trump, time, right? Trump equals 47, and time equals 47. And also, I always like to say this, but my name Cody is a perfect match to time. I always liked to say that because I always found it interesting. Oh, sorry, it's not a perfect match. Sorry, it's a 3-cipher match to time, my name, but still interesting. Yeah, and don't forget that time traveler equals 888. And this connects back to the number 64 because 8 times 8 is 64. And we know how big the number 64 is because Israel equals 64. And 64 is another huge number. But anyway, time traveler equals 888. Of course, like Donald J. Trump equals 888. So yeah, a lot of 8s. Triple eights equals 888, right? Yeah, isn't that crazy, guys? Triple eights, if you spell it right. Triple eights equals 888. Like, think about that for a second. Like, that's just funny. Or it's not just funny. That's crazy. That shows you something. It shows you something because it's just, what are the chances of that? Triple eights equals 888. Doesn't 888 equal 888? Oh no, 888 equals 882. No, 888 I think equals 888. No, I forget what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I thought there was another one. Oh yeah, 888 equals 888 in reverse primes. So, I mean, that's not as big of a cipher, but it's interesting. But 888 equals 93. Saturn equals 93. Yeah, so, I mean, these numbers are crazy, Yeah, English gematria equals 888 also. But yeah, this whole thing was about 8s, so, and Saturn, time. Something about Mars. Rebecca Carrington, amazing astrologer, talking about time, or about the Mars. Now, guys, there's a video on YouTube. I shared this with my friend Sean the other day. But there's a video on YouTube that's talking about October 9th, and Saturn is going to be the water is going to be being poured out on Saturn. I can't really explain it, but there's a video by Ghosts 619. Yeah, I just thought this was interesting too, because I watched this video the other day, and if this comes up, hold on. This channel, I'm not really a big fan of always trying to predict the rapture dates. That's one thing I'm not a big fan of. But this video is called Revelation in the Stars, October 9th, 2024. So this is a video you might, it basically shows how all the astrological alignments are with the Bible. It also talks about nuclear stuff. So, I mean, that's something you guys can give a watch. Maybe you guys would be interested in it. I don't know. Just thought I'd bring that up. Oh, yeah, I forgot. October 9th is 44,000 days after Oppenheimer was born. That's right. So just for another 44 connection, Oppenheimer was born on 4/22, which is like 4/4, by the way. If you take the date 4/22 and you add the twos together, it's like 4/4. But anyway, he was born on 4/22, 1904. And October 9th, Oppenheimer will turn exactly 44,000 days old if he was still alive. So, yeah. Yeah, Jeffrey says that 88 is the Ra. Ra is the 88th element, radium. Yep. Doesn't radium equal 88? Hold on. No, I thought it did. Oh, no, I think radium Ra. Hold on. No. Thought there was. Yeah. Thought there was. Oh, radium equals 444. Interesting. I'm just kind of messing around here. Oh, yeah. Jesus Messiah equals 888. See that? In Sumerian. So, yeah, Jesus Messiah. Which, of course, we're talking about 444, which is half of 888, right? Jesus equals 444, and Messiah equals 444. Nuclear equals 444. So, and Lucifer. So that's why, that number is interesting, aligning with October 7th coming up. Yeah, Gospels 444. The Lion of Judah equals 888. Cross equals 444, yep. And Morgan, as usual, always giving the good info, 888 times 2 is 1776. Yeah, and don't forget all the symbols of Saturn, which you could say Saturn has a lot of connections to Satan. Santa, Saturn, Satan. Saturn company logos. Another thing about Saturn is where I come from in Bavaria, where my girlfriend lives, there's a lot of Saturn symbolism. There's an arena in Ingolstadt where the Illuminati was founded called Saturn Arena. Like literally in the same city that the Illuminati was founded, it's Saturn Arena. And look, all the logos that have the Saturn, the Internet Explorer logo, clearly Saturn. I mean, NASA even has a Saturn. Burger King, Boeing, AAA, Nike, Pepsi. I mean, Whirlpool. So yeah, I mean, and I told you that Hitler and Saturn, I think there you'll find something. It was from the period that popular rumor emerged that Saturn was Adolf Hitler's pet. You see that? Adolf Hitler's pet was supposedly Saturn. I don't know that. Oh, it was an alligator. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, I believe I looked this up before. Saturn was an American alligator residing in Moscow Zoo. He was a subject of urban myth that he was Hitler's pet. You see what I mean, guys? I told you that when J.R.R. Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings, a lot of people thought it was an allegory to the World War II narrative. And you'll find a lot of connections with Hitler and Saturn, right? And he supposedly had an alligator named Saturn. So that's interesting. Um, and the alligator died in Russia. So that's interesting too. But yeah, that's one to look into. I mean, an alligator is like a big, like a dragon, a lizard, you know? So just more of that style of energy. Anthony Dibb, you always say nothing will happen. What do you mean nothing will happen? Things have been happening. We just had a hurricane wipe out a bunch of people in the United States. We just had a war break out. I mean, things happen all the time. It's just not what you're expecting. I didn't say anything would specifically happen. I just said look out for more chaos, order out of chaos, you know? Things happen every day. Big things have been happening. I mean, the energy in this world has picked up tremendously, and we're about ready to have the election, first of all. So just the election itself is a big event coming. And first of all, do you guys remember in July, Anthony Dibb? Do you remember in July when, like, a week before Trump got shot in the ear, I was telling you watch out for a Trump assassination, and then a week later it happens. I mean, it didn't get assassinated yet, but he got shot in the ear, which was a pretty big event. Yeah, it's happening right now. Exactly. It's just not always exactly what we think, which is why I never try to give like 100%. I never like these people out there trying to say this is 100% going to happen on this day. No, I'm never saying this is 100% going to happen. No, I'm just saying watch out for more order out of chaos. That's what I'm saying all the time. And Trump's going back to the same place, right? Tomorrow, he's going back to Butler where he got shot. So just watch out for that. Not to mention, we had a bridge collapse this year. Trump got shot in the ear. We had a war break out and escalate. We had a big hurricane that did lots of devastation. I mean, we had lots of normal deaths. We had lots of sacrifices in the news, like people just dying. You know, so we've had lots happening. I mean, he's not really a troll. He's just saying that nothing happens, which people who have that attitude are always looking for specific events. I get that. But I think he's expecting something to happen, right? But thanks you guys again for sticking around. Let's see how long I've been. An hour and 18 minutes. Please hit those like buttons on your way out, guys. And yeah, just I think is there anyone else that has anything else important to add before we get off here? I'll give you guys 3 minutes, and then we'll wrap this up. Yep, Trump is returning to Butler tomorrow, 84 days after he was shot there, and Butler equals 84. And it's 84 months after the calm before the storm speech. Exactly. Tomorrow looks like a very interesting day. I mean, maybe the whole ritual is just that Trump is returning to the place he got shot on the day he gave his storm speech. But that in itself is a big enough ritual, right? Oh yeah, Sean, Widow's Son. Make sure you guys go check out his channel, Widow's Son. Sean, did you reach 1,000 subs yet? If not, let's get him to 1,000 subs. But anyway, October is Earthquake Awareness Month. Let's look that up. Hold on. October. Earthquake Awareness Month. International Shakeout Day is October 17th. What is International Shakeout Day? Is that something with an earthquake? International Shakeout Day is observed with the mission to educate the public about the importance of taking immediate action in case of an earthquake. Huh. Interesting, guys. I mean, October 17th, International Shakeout Day. International Shakeout Day. Well, interesting. It has 102. Yeah, that's interesting. Is there something else, Sean? I missed your comment. Earthquake preparedness month. Much love to you too, Captain Flatastic. I appreciate you, and thanks for all the love. Just reading through your comments. California had 3 large earthquakes this week. Really? Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the thing that I think could be next for sure this year is an earthquake. I mean, I'm really just thinking. Earthquake preparedness. October is the month for the Great Oregon Shakeout. Wow, the Great Oregon Shakeout. So yeah. I mean, this just reminds me of Taylor Swift last year when she was in Seattle and she had that Shake It Off. Huh, I wonder if there'll be an earthquake on her birthday or something. Now remember, the year Taylor Swift was born, there was an earthquake at the World Series. Remember? I did a whole video on that. 1989 was the earthquake at the World Series. Taylor Swift was super connected to it. Remember, tomorrow is Travis Kelce's birthday. That's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And again, I mean, I think it would be too obvious to get an earthquake on 10/7. Guys, I can't believe that we're already in October 7th this year already. This year flew by. But anyways, October 7th, I doubt it'll be that obvious. I don't think we'll get an earthquake. I mean, maybe we get like a small earthquake, but I mean, who knows? 4:57 is 10-17 minutes into the day. 4:57 the 88th prime. Yep, we'll see. Thank you for subscribing to Widow's Son. Let's get him to 1,000. I think he's close to 1,000. Make sure you guys go over and subscribe to Joseph Aquaviva 2222. You guys can leave your links in the chat if you guys want, so people can go over. Joseph says good times equals 107 and 44 like earthquake. Much love to you too, Peggy. Thank you for joining. Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024 leaves 69 days in the year. Saturn equals 69. Yeah, I mean, 69 is always a big number. I think they resolved that strike, that port strike, right? I think they resolved that. So I guess that's some better news. Of course, we know that's just a ritual as well. But the port strike, I think they resolved it. Or they didn't resolve it, but they're postponing it or something till January or something. Oh yeah, Amos from Good Times just died. That's right. That's right. Interesting. I don't know if there'll be a big surprise tomorrow, Slick Rick, but Trump is returning to Butler, so That right there in itself is a pretty big ritual. Yeah, that's right. I mean, don't forget October 9th is Yale University's birthday. They'll turn 323 years old this year. In gematria, Lucifer equals 323. So Yale turns 323 on October 9th. All right, guys. I'm heading out. I'm going to get ready for bed here. It's late. And as always, please hit those like buttons on the way out. I got 127 likes. Thank you guys all. Thank you guys for the donations and the support. And as always, many blessings and much love. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.